Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I have some breaking news coming out here for you regarding the Russian-Ukraine war. We have the U.S. State Department coming out and officially accusing Russia of deploying chemical weapons in the war against Ukraine. Now, this is pretty big news. I've heard some stories about this a little while back that Russia was using some sort of chemical weapons or they were being accused of it, but now they're being officially accused of using chemical weapons that are banned by the Chemical Weapons Convention. Okay, so the weapon that they're using is apparently called chloropicrin. Okay, it's an asphyxiating gas that was actively used during the First World War. And it is banned by the Chemical Weapons Convention. And supposedly Russia was using this during the war of Ukraine. I don't know how long. Maybe they've been using it for months or maybe since the beginning. Who knows? But again, I remember hearing reports about this, and now they're starting to come out. And it looks like this is true, at least according to the U.S. State Department. So also the U.S. is imposing new sanctions on Russian firms and government bodies that are attached to the development of this chemical. Yeah, pretty big news, guys. I've got several things to go over for you. Let's go ahead and get right into this and start talking about this. So first, I have a post here from Anton Gurashenko on X. U.S. State Department has officially accused Russia of using prohibited chemical weapons in Ukraine. It is reported that the Russian army used chloropicrin, an asphyxiating gas that was actively used during the First World War. It is banned by the Chemical Weapons Convention. The new U.S. sanctions list included the radiological, chemical, and biological defense troops of the Russian Defense Ministry, as well as two institutes that develop chemical and biological weapons. Russians themselves brag in their Z channels about using chemical weapons on Ukrainian soldiers. So I have heard about that. Lots of people talking about this, that apparently the fighters for the Russians, many of them like on Telegram and many of their channels that they use for communication, they brag about this, saying, hey, we use these on Ukrainian soldiers. And apparently what they do is they drop them into trenches, kind of like what you see in this picture, or they'll drop them into like a foxhole using like a small drone, and it'll make the Ukrainian soldier come out of his foxhole or the trenches and expose them to the line of fire, making it easier to eliminate them if they wanted to. So pretty crazy that we're seeing this. And again, yeah, the U.S. is imposing some sanctions on them. So I want to talk a little bit more about this as well. Give you some more information on the CDC on what chloropicrin is actually used for. Okay, so it's a lung damaging agent, and they list this on the CDC. And it says right here under the description, chloropicrin is used in agriculture as a soil fumigant. It has also been used as a chemical warfare agent, military designation, PS, and a riot control agent. It was used in large quantities during World War I and was stockpiled during World War II. However, it is no longer authorized for military use. Chloropicrin is an irritant with characteristics of tear gas. Chloropicrin has an intensely irritating odor. Inhalation of 1 ppm causes eye irritation and can warn of exposure. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's originally used as a soil fumigant, so like I'm assuming to get rid of pests in soil, so that way plants can grow if they're growing some sort of food or something, lettuce, tomatoes, whatever it might be. And yeah, apparently it was used a lot in World War I, stockpiled World War II, and it's interesting. I wonder why it is actually banned for use in war, but apparently it's used a lot in riot control as well, which I think is interesting. So it's kind of used more for like civilian use, but not for war. That's kind of doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know. That's kind of weird. Yeah, but we're going to go over a few more things to discuss here. Let's look over this on CNN World. U.S. says Russia used choking agents against Ukrainian troops breaching chemical weapons ban. So it says here, United States has formally accused Russia of using chemical weapons as a method of warfare against Ukraine and imposed sweeping new sanctions on Russian firms and government bodies. In a statement on Wednesday, the U.S. State Department said it had made a determination that Russia has used the chemical weapon chloropicrin against Ukrainian forces in violation of the Chemical Weapons Convention. It added that Russia has also used riot control agents or tear gas during the war in violation of the CWC. Wait, so I'm assuming that the riot control agents and tear gas is separate from the chloropicrin, according to this, because it says also used. So maybe I don't know, maybe the chloropicrin is not being categorized as a riot control agent. I thought it was, but maybe I'm just understanding that wrong. So maybe that's why it is banned for use in war. So it says here, the use of such chemicals is not an isolated incident and is probably driven by Russian forces' desire to dislodge Ukrainian forces from fortified positions and achieve tactical gains on the battlefield. So just kind of like what I was mentioning, that I've seen video footage online of Ukraine. What Ukraine does is they use these small drones and they'll attach like a some sort of like a grenade or maybe an explosive device to it. And if they ever use like a grenade, they'll fly over like over a tank, and then if a tank opens their hatch for some air, they'll drop a grenade in there and try to blow it up. And also sometimes they'll strap explosives like maybe C4 or something to the drone and then crash it into a vehicle or a tank or something, trying to blow it up as well. But apparently what Russia's doing is kind of similar. I've seen videos where they use drones and they'll drop, like, it'll look like a grenade, but it's actually a chloropicrin gas grenade or something like that, some sort of tear gas, and they'll drop them into like a foxhole or a like a trench, and it'll basically clear out the soldiers and force them to get out, to put them in the line of fire so they can take them out, just like it says here, to get tactical gains on the battlefield. The U.S. conclusion tallies with testimony from Ukrainian troops who say they have faced increased encounters with gas and other irritant chemicals on parts of their front line with Russia's forces in recent months. So this is in the last few months, maybe since the beginning of the year, according to this. In a statement posted on social media in March, Ukraine's armed forces said they had recorded more than 1,000 incidents where Russia had used tear gas munitions equipped with toxic chemicals that are prohibited for warfare, with 250 cases in February alone. So wow, that was just like what, 3 months ago, 3 months ago, where it looks like they're using this quite a bit, 250 cases in just February. The Kremlin dismissed the U.S. accusations, asked about them during a regular press briefing. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said, "We saw the news about this. These accusations are absolutely groundless, not supported by anything. Russia was and remains committed to its obligations in international law." Chloropicrin was widely used as a chemical warfare agent in World War I, but is no longer authorized for military use and is now mostly used in agriculture, according to the CDC. It irritates the lungs, eyes, and skin and can cause nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea lasting for weeks, according to the CDC. Under a 1991 law against the use of chemical and biological warfare, the State Department is reimposing restrictions on foreign military financing, U.S. government lines of credit, and export licenses for defense articles and national security sensitive items going to Russia, it said on Wednesday. So once again, the U.S. putting more pressure on Russia and their economy, applying more sanctions to pressure Russia. You know, I don't know whether this story is real or not. Like I said, I've seen video footage and things like that online, so it looks like this could be going on. But according to the U.S. State Department, yeah, they're saying that Russia's doing this, and that's why they're imposing these sanctions. So whether they're doing this just to impose more sanctions, have a reason to do it, or not, definitely not a good thing if they're using chemical weapons that are not supposed to be used in war. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you and let you know what's going on here with this war in Ukraine and Russia. And I guess it would kind of explain if they are making some tactical gains, and maybe if this is true, this is showing the desperation of Russia. Maybe they're really not doing as well as they expected to do, because I remember hearing in the very beginning of this war too that I think it was Vladimir Putin or many top officials of Russia were claiming that, you know, they would take over Ukraine pretty quickly. And it seemed like this was going to happen fast, but it definitely did not. It's been dragging out for 2 years, and the front line has relatively remained pretty stationary for the most part throughout the last 2 years. It's just starting to shift now in the last few months. So let me know what you think down below this story. Share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comment section. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this update, please smash that like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.